At first I thought it was a joke. A cruel, tasteless joke. The room had been full of laughter, pastel balloons, and the gentle hum of anticipation. We were celebrating life, the start of something new, a family that was supposed to be ours. My wife's cheeks glowed under the soft yellow light as she opened gift after gift. Tiny blankets, rattles, picture frames with Daddy's girl, etched in cursive silver. Then her mother handed me a box, neatly wrapped, the paper a shade of baby blue. When I tore it open and read the label, the noise of the party vanished from my ears. All I saw were the words, DNA test kit. Beneath it, in my mother-in-law's slanted handwriting, 4 Reddit stories. Law CEO. The room chuckled, as if this was all in good humor, but my chest tightened. My palms went clammy. I forced a smile, but my mind spun. Why would she give me this? Why today at our baby shower? Just a gag gift, her mother sang, waving her hands as though she could wave away the weight of it. The guests laughed again, the tension dispersing for everyone, except me. I glanced at my wife. For the briefest moment, I caught something in her eyes. Not humor. Not even annoyance. Fear. Then it was gone, replaced by her practiced smile. That look planted a seed in my chest that began to spread like poison. The party went on, but I moved through it like a ghost. I laughed when people expected me to, shook hands, thanked them for their gifts, but my mind wasn't there. It was circling again and again, around that single look my wife had given me. Later, when the guests left and the house grew quiet, I carried the DNA kit into our bedroom. She was folding onesies on the bed, humming softly. Strange gift, wasn't it? I said, my voice steady but sharp. She froze. My mom has a weird sense of humor. Was it a joke? I pressed. Her back stiffened. Of course it was. What else would it be? I wanted to believe her. I wanted to shove the thought from my head. Burn it away. But the image of her mother's smirk, and my wife's fleeting panic, wouldn't let me rest. That night, I lay awake, staring at the ceiling while she slept beside me. I thought about every little moment in our marriage, every small red flag I had smoothed over. The late nights she claimed were for work. The sudden silences when her phone lit up. The way her friends joked that she was too wild to settle down. I told myself I was paranoid. That I loved her. That trust was the foundation of marriage. But then I thought about the child. The baby girl we were about to bring into the world. If that trust was already a lie, what would happen when she was born? I made a decision. Quiet, terrible, but necessary. A week later, while my wife was at work, I swabbed my cheek. The act felt mechanical, detached, as though I were watching someone else move my hand. Then I swabbed the small hospital-issued wristband with our unborn daughter's name. It was from an ultrasound appointment I had kept tucked in my wallet, pressed with her first sonogram picture. I sent the samples away. The waiting nearly killed me. Every day, I wore the mask of a loving husband, holding her hand, painting the nursery walls, kissing her forehead when she sighed in exhaustion. But inside I was unraveling. At night, I'd watch her sleep and wonder, whose child was she carrying? When the email finally arrived, I sat alone in my office, staring at the subject line until my eyes blurred. My hand trembled as I clicked it open. The words cut through me like glass. Not a biological match. I couldn't breathe. My body felt hollow, emptied of air, of life. I read it again, hoping I had misunderstood. But the truth was merciless. The child was not mine. That evening, I returned home in silence. She greeted me at the door with a smile, holding a tiny pair of baby shoes she'd just bought. "Aren't these adorable?" she asked, her voice sweet and warm. I stared at her, my throat tightening. "Whose are they really for?" Her smile faltered. "What do you mean?" "The baby," I said, my voice breaking. "She isn't mine." The shoes slipped from her hands, landing softly on the rug. Her lips parted, but no words came. For a long, aching moment, we just stood there, staring at each other across the chasm that had opened between us. Finally, she whispered, "I didn't want it to happen. I was scared. You work so much, you're so distant sometimes." He was just there. My chest burned. "So you betrayed me? You destroyed everything because I work late." Tears welled in her eyes. "I love you. I do. But when I found out I was pregnant, I convinced myself it was yours. I wanted it to be yours. Her words twisted in me like a knife. She wanted it to be mine. As if that changed the reality that it wasn't. The weeks that followed blurred into a storm of arguments, silences, and nights spent on the couch. She begged me to forgive her, to raise the child as my own. She promised me it would never happen again, that we could rebuild. And I wanted to believe her. I wanted to erase the truth, to pretend the DNA test never existed. Because when I looked at her, when I felt her hand against mine, I still saw the woman I had chosen to love. But when I looked at her stomach, at the life growing inside her, all I saw was betrayal. The day my daughter was born, I held her in my arms. She was beautiful, fragile, her tiny fingers curling around mine. In that moment, something inside me shattered and healed all at once. She wasn't mine by blood, but she was innocent, undeserving of the sins that brought her here. My wife watched me with hope in her eyes. "She needs you," she whispered. I kissed my daughter's forehead, tears streaming down my face. "I'll be there for her," I said softly. Then I looked at my wife. "But I don't know if I can be there for you." Her face crumpled, and I turned away, holding the child tighter, as though she could anchor me to something real. Sometimes, late at night, I replay that moment at the baby shower. The laughter, the balloons, the DNA kit wrapped in baby blue. I realize now it wasn't a joke. It was a warning. A warning I ignored until it tore my world apart. And though I will love my daughter until my last breath, I will never forget the look in my wife's eyes when the truth came crashing down. The look of a woman who knew her lies had finally been caught.